If you woke up this morning, touched your face and thought, when did these lines get here? Then stay with me, because what I'm about to share comes from a technique used by seniors in Japan that has quietly taken over the skincare world, yet hardly anyone in the West talks about it the right way. And the craziest part is that when you do it correctly, people say it makes their face look lifted, smoother, and years younger by the very next morning. Not surgery, not injections, not expensive creams, just a simple taping method that works while you sleep. And if you're over 50, over 60, or even over 70, this can help you train the skin and underlying muscles in a way that feels almost magical. So let me show you exactly how this works, why it works, and how you can start using it tonight. Japanese face taping is a gentle nighttime support method that helps seniors wake up with smoother, lifted-looking skin by preventing sleep creases and relaxing overactive facial muscles. The beauty of this technique is that it doesn't rely on harsh pulling, complicated gadgets, or expensive cosmetic treatments. It works through subtle guidance, giving the skin and underlying muscles the kind of support they naturally lose with age. When you think about how the face changes over time, it's easy to assume that only drastic measures make a difference. But Japanese seniors have shown for decades that simple, consistent habits can create impressive visible improvement. As the skin becomes thinner and collagen production slows, it's more susceptible to overnight folding and mechanical stress. Sleeping on the side or stomach presses the face into the pillow for hours, forming deep lines that can take half the day to fade. Face taping prevents those folds by gently holding the skin in a smoother position, redistributing tension, and reducing the pressure that normally gets concentrated in wrinkle-prone areas. It's like giving your face a soft support system that keeps it from collapsing inward during sleep. Instead of waking up with markings or sagging brought on by gravity and poor sleeping posture, the skin maintains a more even, rested appearance. What makes this method especially effective for seniors is how it works with the facial muscles. As we age, certain expressions become habitual, like tightening the jaw, clenching the mouth area, or raising the eyebrows during sleep without realizing it. These repetitive movements contribute significantly to the deepening of lines. Japanese face taping helps minimize these involuntary motions by gently restricting the muscles that create them. It doesn't freeze the face, rather, it sends a message to the muscles to relax. This relaxation alone can reduce morning lines and soften the appearance of long-standing wrinkles. Many seniors notice that when they wake up after taping, their face not only looks smoother but also feels less tense, as if the muscles were given a break they didn't know they needed. The taping method also improves circulation and reduces puffiness. When the skin is slightly lifted with breathable, flexible tape, it helps promote better airflow, reduces the buildup of overnight fluid, particularly around the cheeks, jawline, and under-eye area. Seniors often experience increased puffiness due to slower lymphatic drainage, and this gentle lift helps minimize that issue naturally. The tape acts almost like a tiny suspension system, holding the skin in a position that prevents fluids from settling heavily in one spot. This is one of the reasons people notice they look more refreshed after a single night of taping. Another subtle but powerful benefit of this technique is how it improves awareness of facial posture. Over time, seniors who use the tape consistently begin to notice their muscles behaving differently, remaining calmer even during the day. This gradual training effect can create lasting improvements in facial expressions, reducing the depth of lines caused by repetitive tightening. Instead of forcing dramatic change, the method supports the face in a calm, natural way that aligns with how the skin and muscles age, making it an ideal approach for older adults looking for a gentle, effective nightly routine without irritation or intensity. The technique works by reducing nighttime facial folding and muscle tension, especially around smile lines, marionette lines, jaw tension, and forehead lines, which are the areas most prone to deepening with age. When you lie down to sleep, your skin is exposed to hours of pressure from pillows and sleep positions that push and fold the face in ways that aren't noticeable at the moment, but become very visible by morning. For seniors whose skin is thinner and less elastic, these folds don't bounce back the way they used to. Instead, they become deeper and more prominent over time. Japanese face taping interrupts this process by supporting the skin and keeping it from collapsing into these positions. By gently lifting or stabilizing key areas of the face, the tape minimizes the compression that leads to overnight creasing. Even a small amount of support can make a significant difference in how the skin settles. During sleep, preventing those deep lines that form from repeated nightly pressure. Beyond preventing physical folding, the method helps reduce the subtle muscular habits that contribute to aging. Many people, especially seniors, tighten certain facial muscles unconsciously during sleep. This might show up as clenching the jaw, furrowing the brow, pressing the lips together, or pulling downward around the mouth. These habitual muscle patterns create tension that deepens wrinkles over the years. The tape acts as a gentle barrier, reminding the muscles not to contract excessively, instead of allowing the brow to pull downward or the jaw to clench tightly. The tape offers resistance that keeps the muscles in a more relaxed state. This relaxation effect is a major reason people notice an immediate softening of their lines in the morning. When a muscle stops overworking overnight, the skin above it looks smoother because it wasn't being pulled, folded, or tightened repeatedly for hours. For areas like the nasolabial folds and marionette lines, which tend to worsen due to sagging and gravitational pull, taping can give the skin a slight upward direction, reducing the weight that drags the lower face down. This doesn't create a permanent lift, but it helps redistribute tension and prevents the skin from compressing into deeper grooves. Similarly, on the forehead, a small piece of tape can help stop the habitual raising of the eyebrows during sleep. Many people don't realize they make expressive movements even while resting, and over time, those movements engrave lines deeper into the skin. When the tape limits those movements, the muscles get a chance to rest fully. That rest shows up visually as smoother lines and a more refreshed look. Reducing tension also impacts morning puffiness. When the muscles are tight, they restrict proper circulation and lymphatic flow, which contributes to swelling under the eyes, around the cheeks, and along the jawline. By keeping the muscles calm and relaxed, taping indirectly helps fluids move more freely, preventing the buildup that leads to that tired, swollen appearance. Seniors often experience lower lymphatic drainage, so this subtle improvement can make a visible difference in how youthful and awake the face appears. All of these combined less folding, better muscle relaxation, and improved fluid movement create a noticeable improvement in how the skin looks and feels after just one night of proper taping. It is safe, simple, and affordable, requiring only medical-grade, breathable, sensitive skin tape without any painful pulling or aggressive stretching. What makes this method so appealing, especially for seniors, is how accessible it is. You don't need expensive tools, complicated devices, or treatments that require appointments and recovery time. The entire method relies on the kind of tape already used in healthcare settings, which means it's designed to be gentle, flexible, and friendly to delicate or aging skin. Unlike cosmetic tapes meant for dramatic pulling during makeup looks, Japanese-style face taping for nighttime support is soft and subtle. It's made to move with your skin, not fight against it. That's why seniors find it easy to incorporate into their routine. They're not battling irritation, discomfort, or harsh adhesives. This simplicity doesn't take away from its effectiveness. In fact, it's the reason it works so well. The tape's breathable nature allows the skin to rest without feeling smothered or tight, which is crucial for older skin that can become dry or reactive. Seniors often struggle with products that cause redness or sensitivity, but this method uses materials meant for long-term gentle contact, so it feels almost invisible once applied. The flexibility of the tape ensures that as you shift during sleep, your skin isn't being yanked or restricted unnaturally. Instead, the tape acts as a stabilizer, guiding the movement of the skin in a supportive way. It's a bit like wearing a soft wrist brace that keeps you from bending too far without locking you in place. The face gets that same kind of guidance, enough to protect it, not enough to cause strain. Because this technique is affordable, it opens the door for people who want to care for their skin without spending large amounts on products or treatments that may or may not deliver the results they're hoping for. High-end anti-aging routines can become overwhelming, especially when the option includes serums, devices, creams, and procedures, all promising miraculous outcomes. The taping method stands out because it strips away all the noise and brings skincare back to basic mechanics, supporting the skin so it doesn't fold, crease, or get compressed while you sleep. There's something refreshing about a method that doesn't depend on chemicals or complicated steps. Seniors appreciate that all it takes is a small piece of tape, and a few seconds of placement before bed. Another reason the taping method is safe is that it doesn't rely on force. There's no stretching of the skin that could cause damage. The key is minimal lift, just enough to support the structure, not enough to strain it. Older skin often becomes more fragile, so the idea of pulling tape off the face can sound intimidating. But when medical grade, low adhesion tape is used, removal is gentle and comfortable. It doesn't pull out hairs, it doesn't tear the surface of the skin, and it doesn't leave marks that last. Seniors who try it are often surprised by how soft the adhesive feels compared to traditional tapes. The experience is closer to removing a delicate under-eye patch than peeling off anything harsh. This method is also beginner-friendly. Seniors don't have to remember a multi-step procedure or worry about applying something perfectly. The tape doesn't need to be placed with surgical precision. Even a simple strip in the right direction can make a noticeable difference. Because it's so easy, people are more likely to be consistent, and consistency is what gives the best results. The low cost also means seniors can experiment with different shapes, sizes, and placements without feeling like they're wasting expensive supplies. It grants flexibility, encouraging a sense of empowerment rather than confusion or frustration. Another advantage of its simplicity is that it fits seamlessly into anyone's nightly routine. You don't have to replace your skincare products or change your habits. The tape goes on last after washing your face, and that's it. If you skip a night, nothing bad happens. If you use it regularly, you'll notice improvement. That kind of no-pressure consistency is ideal for older adults who want something effective but realistic. The approach is gentle on both the skin and the wallet, making it a practical solution for seniors who want to look refreshed without stress, pain, or complicated routines. Results can be seen as early as the next morning, with reduced puffiness, fewer sleep wrinkles, and a refreshed, lifted appearance, while long-term use trains facial muscles to stay more relaxed. This is one of the reasons so many seniors become loyal to the Japanese face taping method, because it offers something rare in the world of anti-aging routines: fast, visible changes that continue to build over time. Most skincare approaches require weeks or even months before any difference can be noticed. But with taping, the first thing people often comment on is how much smoother their face looks right after waking up. This isn't magic. It's simply the result of preventing the overnight folding and compression that normally create deep morning lines. When you keep the skin from collapsing into those positions for hours, you naturally wake up with fewer creases marking the forehead, cheeks, or around the mouth. The tape acts as a gentle guide, maintaining smoother alignment so you don't start your day already looking tired or wrinkled. Puffiness is another area where results show quickly. As we age, our lymphatic drainage becomes slower, especially during sleep when circulation decreases. Fluids tend to pool under the eyes, along the jawline, and in the cheeks. The subtle lift created by the tape helps prevent that heavy settling. Instead of letting fluids accumulate in pockets, the tape encourages a more open structure, making it easier for excess fluid to move and disperse. That's why many seniors notice a more sculpted or lifted appearance in the morning. Their jawline looks less swollen, the under-eye area appears brighter, and the overall face looks more defined. It's a simple adjustment that has a surprisingly big visual impact. Even more impressive is the gradual training effect the method has when used consistently. Facial muscles behave just like any other muscle in the body. They learn patterns. Years of repetitive expressions leave their mark, especially when certain muscles overwork. Many adults unconsciously clench their jaw, purse their lips, tighten their cheeks, or raise their eyebrows even during sleep. These small but repeated movements carve deeper and deeper lines into the skin. By gently restricting those motions with tape, the face slowly becomes accustomed to a more relaxed state. Over time, the muscles stop contracting as intensely, even when the tape isn't there. This behavioral training means that wrinkles caused by tension can soften naturally because the underlying muscles aren't pulling as hard as before. For seniors, this long-term relaxation is incredibly valuable. Instead of fighting against years of tension, the tape helps reset the face into a calmer baseline. The brow stays smoother during the day because it wasn't scrunched all night. The jaw feels less tight because it wasn't clenched for hours. The mouth area softens because the muscles weren't pressing inward. All these small improvements add up, creating a more youthful, gentle expression overall. People often look younger not because their wrinkles disappeared entirely, but because their face appeared rested and naturally lifted. the same way it does after a good night's sleep, but amplified. This cumulative change is what sets Japanese face taping apart from many anti-aging techniques. It doesn't just give temporary visual improvements, it creates new habits in the skin and muscles. The face learns not to collapse inward during sleep, not to tense unnecessarily, and not to fold into the same deep creases every night. The result is a look that's not artificially achieved, but genuinely refreshed. If the face has been given the conditions it needs to recover and rejuvenate. Seniors appreciate this because it feels natural. They're not forcing their skin into anything extreme, but guiding it into a healthier resting pattern. Over weeks and months, this gentle guidance turns into lasting change, allowing them to maintain a more youthful appearance without harsh treatments, discomfort, or expensive routines. Here is a smooth, natural 500-word expansion of Keynote 5th with no headings and no ending. Style conclusion. When seniors start using the Japanese face taping method consistently, the changes they notice are often far beyond what they expected, and the reason for this is that the technique doesn't just affect the skin, it influences the way the facial muscles behave throughout the day. Many people don't realize how often they tense their forehead, clench their jaw, or squint their eyes without even noticing. Over time, these habits become almost automatic, and they carve deeper lines into the skin. But face taping works almost like a gentle reminder system, guiding the muscle into a more relaxed, natural position, even when you're not thinking about it. This means that the improvements you start to see don't disappear the moment you remove the tape. Instead, your muscles begin learning a better resting posture, something that keeps the face soft, lifted, and more youthful as the days and weeks go by. What's especially motivating to many seniors is that the benefits feel cumulative. The more days you apply the tape, the easier it becomes for the skin to bounce back, and the faster the muscles adapt to the new, relaxed pattern. The forehead appears smoother not just because the tape holds it still overnight, but because the muscle underneath slowly stops overworking. The jawline begins to look tighter, not simply because the skin is pulled in a certain direction, but because the underlying stress that creates sagging starts to fade. Even around the eyes, where the skin is thinnest and most delicate, people begin to feel that the heaviness, puffiness, or tightness they used to wake up with isn't as strong as it used to be. This is why many seniors describe the method as training rather than just taping. It is a process that builds upon itself. Another long-term change people experience is improved skin texture. Because the tape holds the skin in a smoother position overnight, there is less friction from tossing and turning, less pressure on delicate areas, and less folding that would normally create deeper creases. This gives the skin a chance to recover naturally. Over time, as this nightly micro-protection adds up, the surface of the skin feels a bit more even and calm. Some seniors say that makeup applies more smoothly, or that their skin looks brighter in natural light. Others mention feeling like their face looks more relaxed, more open, and more refreshed, which naturally gives a younger impression even before the wrinkles begin fading. Small improvements lead to slightly bigger improvements, and eventually the face begins to look like it has caught its breath. There's also something psychological that happens when you use this method regularly. Many seniors feel more in control of their aging process. Instead of watching the mirror with frustration or resignation, they start feeling hopeful again. They notice that the changes are gradual but steady, and this consistency builds confidence. It doesn't require expensive products or painful treatments. It doesn't involve waiting months to see results. It's something they can do with their own hands, in their own home, at their own pace. And this creates a sense of empowerment, a feeling that they're actively participate in their own wellness rather than being passive observers of aging. This emotional shift often amplifies the physical results, because feeling good tends to show on the face in its own way. If you want me to expand these into standalone scripts or convert them into video narration style, just let me know.